Man, what's up, everybody? What's up going on, world? Hope everybody's had a good weekend. Had a good day so far. Just really want to reach out and share this video. Many of y'all may have already seen it, but for those of y'all that haven't seen it, but I just want to share some portions of the video where you have J.R. Smith, former NBA superstar, um, talking about some really, I believe, some really insightful things regarding the black community, and also some things that he's trying to do in his life. And I really think that these are some relevant statements that he makes, because right now many of us in the black community, uh, I really feel like are lost, and many of us that aren't lost are really finding it hard to kind of step up and speak about the things that are going on in our community to kind of right some of those wrongs and change the things that are going on around us. So without further ado, I'm gonna play some of this from this J.R. Smith interview, and hope you take something from it, and we'll talk a little bit about it as it breaks down. So let's get to it. So the first little point that he makes in the video starts at about 140. So I'm
The
gonna play
biggest
that
move
portion.
right now is trying to change as many minds that look like us back into the Afrocentric mindset opposed to the Eurocentric mindset. We're so trained and it's so embedded to have that Eurocentric mindset that worry about myself, worry about me, worry about mine, worry about mine. I'm not going to help nobody else who look like me build up when everybody else do it but us. When you made over $100 million in your career, right? Is 105 going to change? 110 going to change your lifestyle? Realistically,
All right. So yeah, that first point that he kind of made, I know they got a little commercial about to come up, so I'm gonna let that go real quick, and we'll get back to it. But I think that the first point that he made was really making sense as far as saying like, "Hey man, you done already made 100 grand in your career. How much is a 5 million going to make you?" And also talking about the Eurocentric mindset, which is basically saying that it's all about me, versus more of, I guess, more of a African mindset where it's more about family, more culture centered. So let's kind of pick back up on this and let him finish making his point, and then we'll kind of discuss it a little bit more. But I really think he's on to something with this. So let me share my screen real quick. Share my screen. There we go, J.R. Smith. Bam.
people you can change lifestyle with $10 million in our hood, in our communities. We were in the lockout. We were in not the lockout, but we were in the bubble. George Floyd happens. That's right. We stopped playing. We're in there. We gonna ask the owners for. We're gonna ask the owners for. Stop asking them for. What are we asking them for? I went down the line. No boy. You can show. You can show. You can ask these dudes if not. I got Paul George sitting right here. I got DeMar DeRozan sitting right here. I got Russell Westbrook sitting right here. I'm literally sitting next to all of these dudes who are LA guys. I'm like, bro, I'm not counting your chips, but everybody else is. So you make 200, you make 200, you make 175, you make 150, you make 180. Why don't y'all have your own gym? Why we gotta go to UCLA to work out in LA every time? You got your own. Y'all all come from the exact same community. You want to inspire kids that look like you. All it takes is five of them. Five. 250, 250, 250, 250, 250. What bank gonna turn us down? We about to build this whole shit out for our community. We're gonna build gyms, rec centers, start leagues, and all that. Who's gonna stop us? We got the money. We don't have the mindset. Our mindset, we rather.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna stop it right there for a second. I like that what he was getting into. Basically, what he's basically saying is that many of us, or many of those guys who are put in a financial situation, a financial blessed situation, you know, uh, in a instead of investing in their community and taking ownership roles, a lot of them are more passive and rather spend their money on, things like cars, homes, watches, and jewelry, versus, investing in the community. I'm from Dallas, and I think that this is, part of the plight about, uh, we had Chris Bosh come through Lincoln High School, and as far as I understood, he had never really returned back to the high school or the community to do any type of monetary investments. Uh, maybe even just some uh, some type of motivational speaking, some encouragement talks, or anything to help those students and help that community, show his appreciation for those that helped to get him to where he had, and where he had ultimately made it to. Now they did have another guy that came out of Skyline who was also from South Dallas. His name was Larry Johnson, also known as Grandmama. Played for the Charlotte Hornets, and in Dallas, in South Dallas, he ended up building the gym, and I believe it's still there to this day. And so that's what we mean about, these people go to the NBA, go to the NFL, become superstars and make all of this money, and don't even take time to come back to our neighborhoods. Many of these celebrities and, athletes, not just athletes, entertainers, but many of these celebrities could really change our community if they would just put on a brand of some of the people in the community that they from, or just, support some of those people in the community. I know that Master P does that, I believe, to a degree with his show. He tries to, show different products, kind of like a little Shark Tank, from manufacturers and, business people, that may not have the exposure. And many of these guys who do have the platforms, only thing they would have to do is put on a shirt like this: Who supports black businesses? Got it from Tino Miles, XYZ on the edge, dot my Shopify, like my other partner who make these hoodies right here, Faded Genius. That's all it would take. Just somebody in those type of situations to help, put other people businesses out here, and to help us, grow our brands. We're not, you don't necessarily all the time have to do something monetarily to actually help benefit our communities. But a lot of people don't even want to do that part because they don't want to see you shine, or possibly even outshine them. But most likely, you're not going to outshine them. They just don't want to see you shine. It's more of me, 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 me. Look at me. I want you to look at me type of mindset. So I'm gonna continue on with the J.R. Smith, and kind of let pull the jewels out of here and let us dissect those.
Go throw $60,000 in the club, in the strip club. Go throw $60,000 and go feed 2,500 people in the hood.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and be like, oh man, I'm a hypocrite. I've done this myself. I've thrown money in the club, literally blindly, aimlessly drunk at a bar. And now I sit back like, stupid ass. I could have fed my whole community 10 times over with the money I was just late on the bus.
Right.
Because I'm so wrapped into me. I got that Eurocentric mindset. I need this designer jacket. I need these jeans. I need this book bag. I need to be looking like this because the vet's got this. I'm pushing this car. I'm doing. Why? Who am I impressing? I'm not even fulfilled with me.
Man, I like that. That part right there where he said he's not even fulfilled with himself. You know, you know, uh, and it goes back to when we talk about being spiritual beings. Like when it comes down to that, feeding your soul and your spirit, not just feeding the flesh, because a lot of the things that you do to feed the flesh are not going to gratify you holistically. You're here to serve a purpose, and I really believe that your purpose is to make this world a better place before you leave. Now we can get into, different discussions about, Anunnaki and string theory and all of that, but that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother discussion. But just you know just to have a purpose, or just a foundational purpose, you should want to make this world a better place, not a worse place. And I think that he speaks to that because there's many people who aren't concerned. and they just rather spend 50, 60, 70,000, $80,000 on throwing it at the strip club, buying meaningless watches, because a lot of them, they do the bust down watches where they put the jewelry and the diamonds on it, and really take away from the worth of those watches, those things, and don't really realize it. And a lot of them, I think, there's a situation where the baby was sold a fake watch and spent 400,000 on it. And just like he just said, man, you know how many people you could have fed, or how many shelters you could have helped stock up on supplies, even if you didn't want to do that and spend that type of money. We just went and just talked about just helping other people with their brands, or giving some type of motivational advice. But we won't even take the time to do that. It's more of a me, 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 me. And like he said, more of a Eurocentric mindset. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to about just about right here, and we'll pick up and let it keep rolling. But
A year after we won the chip. A year after we won the chip, I felt like I had everything, and I still wasn't whole with me because I knew there was something missing. And I couldn't. And for a long time, I went through bad depression with it because I couldn't figure out what it was. Like I've always had this mission because my parents instilled in me to help my community, help my people, help people around me, help people who look like me. It was always about the kids when I was growing up with my pops. It was always about the kids, and I always wanted to do something like that, but I couldn't. I was tired of putting my name on it, not being on the forefront of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of being able to. I'm tired of being a person talking about it and not being a person walking it. Because I can't tell you to help out with this and that if I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I felt I'm putting people, young brothers who look like me, in a worse situation.
They looking up to you.
They look up to me. So when they think, oh, this is cool, this is what they say he did this and that, he did this, he threw soup on a coach, whatever. They think that is cool.
Man, straight up, he's speaking the truth, man. He's speaking the truth, and you know, we all, leading our people down the wrong way when you are putting out these influences, that materialistic stuff is more important than, feeding yourself spiritually and finding other ways to, help each other. But by you saying, oh man, if you don't got the XYZ clothes, or if you're not driving XYZ car, regardless of how you gotta get it, you really putting yourself, putting others in a bad situation, because a lot of those kids and a lot of those people are going to look up to you, and then a lot of them are going to feel unaccomplished if they do not obtain these certain type of trinkets, right? Is that this stuff that's not really even important, but when we are looking up to these celebrities, and they put some of these things as a hierarchy, or as an importance, then many people start looking at accomplishing those goals and obtaining those things, and it's not necessarily they do it in the right way. And so we were actually setting those people up, because the majority of those people aren't going to be able to afford those type of things, so they may turn to an underground type of economy to help them obtain those things, which is ultimately leading a lot of people astray. All right, so let's continue on.
Look at what we glorify. Strip club, getting high, setting people up, killing people. Like, look at what we glorify. They put millions and millions of dollars into this. Record labels put billions of dollars into this and sell.
Man, I like that. I'm gonna play that part again, because I think that was, one of the biggest things that he talked about. And also pay attention for those, for those of you guys that are, are awakened, or for those of you guys that understand. You see the pattern, the checker pattern floor. All right, for all my people who understand what I'm talking about. But the difference is, you notice with the checker pattern floor, that it is green and white, not black and white. For those of y'all that don't know, if you go inside a Masonic temple, every Masonic temple has the checker floor, but the checker floor is black and white, similar to this floor that these guys are sitting on, whatever. But that just kind of caught my eye, and every time I see the checkerboard pattern, it kind of makes me kind of just take a double take and look. but it's very surprising that it's green and white versus the black and white, which is very interesting. So play that part again.
They think that's cool. Look at what we glorify. Strip club, getting high, setting people up, killing people. Like, look at what we glorify. They put millions and millions of dollars into this. Record labels put billions of dollars into this and sell. And we still get raped off of entertainment.
Yeah. So look at what we glorify. Man, he couldn't be, he's not lying. He's being honest. I mean, when it comes down to what we glorify, what we look up to, it's like a lot of us look up to, you know, uh, the drug dealers, the pimps, the prostitutes, the strippers, a lot of the people that aren't doing, the right things with their lives. Just to be honest, and if you're not looking up to those people, or if you're trying to do something different, then a lot of times people in the black community, well, in mainly in the inner city community, I'm not just gonna say, the black, community holistically, but because many of the black people are successful and don't, and frown upon those things, but many people in the black community do glorify those type of things, and he's being honest about it. And not trying to say that other cultures don't glorify some of those things, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about the black community and the black culture. We glorify a lot of the foolish things and a lot of things that lead to our destruction. So he's just being candid and he's being honest in this conversation. It was just one more point I wanted to point out, and then we can get off this, and I'll let you guys, check it out at your leisure. Have a good night. All right, so I'm gonna start the part right here, about 11:40.
Oh, 2-time championship, you can drop that and get it. But when they're all set,
it is time to rethink e-commerce with Amazon.
Get rid of this commercial. Sorry, y'all.
and dust all settled, that don't mean nothing. We play a sport for a living that they pay us way overpaid for. I hate to say it, like, I love my brothers and I want y'all to get as much money as you can, 100%. But doctors, teachers, we more important than them. We more important than the people who teach your 3-4-year-old daughter. Can't tell me that they spend more time with your kids than you spend with them. Even thinking about the game. My drive is that really, when they go back in the history books, and when I'm gone 50, 60, 70 years after when I'm gone, really dissect who I am, where I come from, what I stood for.
Legacy, right? Legacy. And a lot of people don't think about legacy, especially when you're young. A lot of people just think about the now, and don't think about how people gonna look at you when you're gone. What you gonna be remembered for, what you gonna leave behind. Like my best friend who passed away, when I think about his legacy, even though he passed away at a young age, I really think, his legacy to me was a stand-up guy who will give you the shirt off his back, and he'll always be remembered for that. I mean, he used to get to the money, but he didn't let the money change him, and didn't let the money make him or keep him away from people who may have been less fortunate. If anything, he would try to lift up those that were less fortunate and help try to put them in better situations, right? And so he talks about legacy, and he really keeps it, really keeps it real, man. And I know those type of videos and these type of messages we talked about before don't really get the recognition that they should, but this was a really solid message by J.R. Smith. I never really kind of heard the guy articulate, on anything of some substance, but I really think he hit the nail on the coffin in this video. So I just wanted to make sure I share it with you guys, those y'all that haven't seen it, and for those y'all that have, just make sure you try to share it, save it to your channel, but definitely make sure that some people that that you care about, get a chance to kind of hear that message. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good night. I appreciate you guys checking it out. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my Shopify store. You guys stay blessed around the world. I'm out. Chill.